In the YouTube algorithm system, one dude makes video essays about video games. These are his videos.
Sometime after the Mad Gear Gang's destruction, a power vacuum began to form in Metro City's underworld. Several gangs battle each other to become the most dominant gang in the city. Eventually, the Skull Cross Gang, a former subordinate group of Mad Gear, defeated all other gangs to become the top gang in Metro City. A few months later, a guy visits Haggar at his office. The quartet soon battled across Metro City against the full forces of the Skull Cross Gang. Their battles led them to the Skull Cross headquarters, where they fought against the gang's leader, Black. After a fierce battle, Black was killed by smashing into a high-voltage transformer which destroyed the building. Even though things were peaceful in the city once again, Guy felt that there was some greater threat out there disturbing the world's balance. Guy leaves Haggar and Lucia to find out the cause. Bison has truly embraced the might of psycho power. Shadaloo has created an advanced machine capable of maximizing his psycho power to his full potential, called the Psycho Drive. But while his mind and spirit are fully on board, his body soon will be unable to handle the full force of his power. Even with the regenerative and boosting powers of the Psycho Drive, Bison realizes that he will need a replacement body soon, and decides to try and make Ryu his next host. Bison sends one of his dolls, Juni, to get data on Ryu. Bison also sends out Cammy to assassinate Dhalsim, as he has been disrupting Shadaloo's presence in India. Back in Italy, Rose meets a young man named Maggio, who is searching for his missing sister, who was abducted by Shadaloo. Rose senses that he may have the potential to learn soul power, and decides to make him her second apprentice. Not long after, Rose has an encounter with Ryu.
Hey, come on, stand up! Face it straight!
Ryu decides to continue his journey despite Rose's warnings. Sometime later, Ryu meets E.Honda, who's currently on a journey to find strong opponents.
It all depends on your skill! Go for broke!
Honda is impressed with Ryu and has a better understanding of just how vast the world is. Back at Interpol, Chun-Li continues to investigate Shadaloo, but corruption in the upper ranks is making her investigation all but impossible. She decides to go out into the field alone to find out whatever she can about Shadaloo. Back at the Air Force, Charlie's best friend Guile receives a mission. Commander Charlie is missing. Find him and bring him back. Guile immediately sets out to find out what happened to his friend. Somewhere in the Brazilian jungle resides a feral man named Jimmy. As a child, Jimmy was on a plane ride to see his uncle until a Shadaloo aircraft shot them down and the plane crashed into the jungle. Only Jimmy survived. Forced to fend in the jungle by himself, Jimmy tried to adapt as best he could. The indigenous people living in the jungle began calling Jimmy Blanka because of his pale skin. Over time, his pale skin would permanently turn green due to all the chlorophyll from the plants that he ate. The harsh jungle environment also strengthened Blanka, not just physically, but biologically. Somehow, Blanka gained the ability to generate electricity from a tussle with an electric eel. Blanka's life was relatively uneventful until he met a certain man who was lost in the jungle. Dan Hibiki somehow got lost in the Amazon and was in grave danger. Blanka came to Dan's rescue and the two became good friends. Now fast forward some years and Blanka is eating watermelon from the back of some poacher's truck when suddenly the truck takes off and heads to a nearby city. Now back in civilization, Blanka begins exploring the modern world. Guy returns to Metro City to touch bases with Haggar. Guy informs Haggar that he was unable to find the force responsible for unbalancing the world. Haggar then tells Guy about the mysterious group that's been taking over Parliament in Metro City. Haggar believes that they may be related to drug trafficking, but nothing has helped so far. Guy then asks why Haggar hasn't asked Cody for help. Haggar explains that Cody is serving time for multiple assault charges. Guy is confused and surprised that Cody has gone that far. Haggar worries about Cody's mental state, especially since he cut ties with Jessica. Guy takes his leave as he ponders what to do next and wonders about what happened to his friend. At this point in the story, several characters are on the move. Zangief receives orders from his country to destroy the Psycho Drive. Thunderhawk from the Thunderfoot tribe is seeking out Shadaloo to find his missing lover Julia, who is now the Shadaloo doll, Juli. A Jamaican kickboxer named DJ is out to find a new rhythm. Martial arts film star Fei Long goes into street fights to sharpen his skills. Eagle, a bouncer from England, seeks the thrill of a good fight. Rainbow Mika, a female pro wrestler in training, seeks to promote herself through street fights. Mika would eventually team up with Zangief to help in his investigation of Shadaloo. Rolento continues to build his utopia, and Sodom tries to revive the Mad Gear Gang, while others such as Adon and Gin seek out Akuma for their own ends. The Kanzuki Zaibatsu is being targeted by Shadoloo. Knowing that this will not stand, Karin decides to set out and use her family's fortune to track down Shadoloo and put a stop to their meddling. During her travels, Karin meets Rainbow Mika and challenges her to a duel.
Nobody blink. Triumph or die. Perfect. You win.
Mika becomes sponsored by Karin and the Kanzuki Zaibatsu after impressing her during their duel. Later, Karin hears from her sources that there is a possibility that there may be a force out there that can aid her in her battle against Shadaloo. the masters of Bison Ryu ninjutsu. Sakura has been having questions lately. She wants to know, what is a street fighter, and what does it mean to be one? Sakura decides to go and track down Ryu, the one person who may be able to give her answers. Back in the US, Ken feels like he's lost focus on his goals. While Ryu seems to be progressing, Ken feels like he's not on track. Ken also sets out on his own to find that answer. Guile continues investigating Shadaloo. During his investigation, Guile and Chun-Li cross paths.
It's showtime! Face it straight! KO! You win!
Guile continues his search despite Chun-Li's warning. Sakura's search for Ryu is now at a dead end. Frustrated, she decides to stroll around and she ends up at a bathhouse. While there, she encounters E.Honda.
Get ready, fighters! Go for it, man! You win!
Thanks to Honda, Sakura learns where to search for Ryu next. While on the way to her next destination, Sakura runs into Dan Hibiki, who makes himself her sensei. From there, Sakura and Dan travel around and run into Dan's friend Blanka / Jimmy.
You can't give it up! Go for it, man! KO! Perfect! You win!
Now the trio travel together in hopes of helping Sakura find Ryu. Guy has since left Metro City to track down the source of the evil he senses. While on his journey, he is stopped by a helicopter.
Let's party! Go for broke!
Karin has finally found Guy, and Guy finally knows the name of the man behind all this evil. Karin and Guy team up to take on Shadaloo. Back in Japan, Maki learns that Guy has become the 39th Grandmaster of Bison Ryu. Not believing Guy to be worthy of the title, Maki sets out to find Guy and challenge him for the right to be Grandmaster. Back in Metro City, Cody Travers has escaped prison out of boredom and began seeking out strong people to fight. Around this time, Rolento remembers that Cody was a powerful fighter that faced him once before, and decides to track him down and recruit him for his army. While trying to track down Cody, Rolento comes face to face with an old comrade.
Face it straight!
Sometime afterwards, Rolento finally finds Cody. Rolento was unaware of Cody's current state and sees him as unfit to serve his cause. Rolento continues to search for more suitable soldiers for his army. Meanwhile, Guy and Karin's investigation leads Guy to have a chance encounter with Rose. Guy feels that Rose may be heading to her death, but carries on despite the risk. While Guy and Rose have their moment, Karin decides to pay a visit to a certain American. Ken continues his journey until he too is stopped by Karin. Ken's advice to Karin has made an impression on her. She is now more determined than ever to face Sakura once again. Things in Shadaloo have become fluid. While Bison is fully focused on getting Ryu, his other agents have other goals in mind. Birdie is tired of being a mere henchman and plans to overthrow Bison by using the Psycho Drive. Birdie tries to dig up any info on the Psycho Drive that he can find. During his search, he is stopped by Bison's top enforcer, Balrog.
Beat 'em up, guys! Triumph or die! You win!
Believing that the Psycho Drive could net him major profit, Balrog decides to team up with Birdie to find it. Elsewhere, Cammy has tracked down Dhalsim and tries to assassinate him. However,
Let's party! Go for broke! You are fighting! You are... You are fighting!
Cammy's humanity is slowly returning thanks to Dhalsim. As Cammy contemplates her existence, Vega continues to watch and track her from the shadows as Bison ordered, until...
Showtime! Face it straight!
Vega lets Cammy go out of personal interest. After Vega's assault, Cammy decides to confront Bison and find out who she really is. Sakura believes that Ryu could be in Thailand after gathering info in her travels with Dan and Blanka. Maki overhears this and thinks that Sakura was talking about Guy. Wanting to have a chance to fight a ninja, Sakura challenges Maki.
It's showtime! Face it straight! KO! You win!
After the battle, the two decide to bid farewell to Dan and Blanka and head to Thailand together. Later, Sakura runs into Ken, who is still in the middle of his journey. Ken realizes that he too wants to meet Ryu to challenge him again and hopefully find out the answers that he's been after. Guy and Karin temporarily split up and Guy meets his old friend Cody for the first time since the Mad Gear incident. Even though that Cody has become a fighting junkie, Guy recognizes that he is still a good man deep down inside. Guy accepts that Cody has his own life to live, and the two part ways once again. Later, Karin finds out that Bison is somewhere in Thailand, and the two head there to confront him.
Okay.
A couple thousand words later, and we were finally at the climax of this era of Street Fighter. It's about to go down. Currently, several people are heading to Bison's doorstep, albeit at different times. What takes place here is a series of battles between Bison and several factions. Here's how it all played out. Guile finds out where Bison's base is and calls in an airstrike, but Chun-Li radios in to Guile to inform him that the airstrike got called off due to Shadaloo having the Air Force top brass on their payroll. Guile decides to go into the Shadaloo base and set off some explosives instead. Chun-Li decides to join him on his mission. Rose finally confronts Bison.
It all depends on your skill. Go for broke.
Despite her best efforts, Rose cannot defeat Bison. Bison senses that the man he's been searching for has finally made it to him. Bison will finally meet Ryu. Guy and Karin arrive in the area and split up. Karin wins, but feels that her victory was a fluke. She realizes that the battle was much more important than the victory. A bit farther away, Guy scouts ahead and crosses paths with Maki. Guy senses a great evil power throughout the fight and doesn't go all out against Maki. She understands that this evil must be taken care of first, and she decides to help Guy. Cammy returns to Bison and confronts him about her purpose.
Get ready, fighters! Go for it, man!
Cammy manages to subdue the dolls, but now she must find a way to free them from Bison's control. Ryu continues to make his way across the land until he gets stopped by Bison.
Let's party! Go for broke!
Bison defeats Ryu and begins to brainwash him immediately. Elsewhere, Sagat has been having doubts about Shadaloo and soon realizes Bison's true intentions. Sagat decides to go confront him directly. After leaving Karin, Sakura hears what sounds like Ryu yelling in agony and makes her way towards the sound. Sakura is at a loss for words, but before she can say anything, Sagat arrives.
Get ready, fighters! Go for it, man!
Now fully brainwashed, Ryu begins to attack Sagat. While Ryu and Sagat have their rematch, Ken makes his way to Sakura and informs him that Bison has done something to Ryu. Ken and Sakura have some words of Bison. The two decide to take on Bison together, while Sagat tries to snap Ryu out of his brainwashing.
It all depends on your skill. Go for broke.
Ken and Sakura manage to do damage to Bison as Sagat subdues Ryu. Bison, however, has more energy to spare as Ken and Sakura are nearing their limit. Sagat then calls Ryu once again. Ryu rises again but begins to struggle with the Satsui no Hado eating at him, until... Ryu manages to severely damage Bison so much that he must retreat to the Psycho Drive and rejuvenate before he dies. Guile and Chun-Li manage to set up bombs across the base and proceed to make their way out. Bison soon exits from the Psycho Drive fully recovered and is confronted by Cammy and the other dolls. A battle ensues and Bison tells Cammy that if he dies, they will die with him because of their psychic link with the Psycho Drive. Just then, a series of explosions go off in the base and severely damages the Psycho Drive. Just before they escape, Cammy uses her powers to sever the link between Bison and the dolls, freeing them from Bison's grip. Chun-Li catches a glimpse of Cammy as she and the other dolls escape with the crumbling Shadaloo base mere moments before it explodes. Exhausted and totally drained, Cammy and the dolls pass out before they can get a safe distance away from the flames and the debris. Not wanting Cammy and the others to die, Vega moves them to a safe distance. Vega then decides to take Cammy somewhere where Shadaloo won't find her. Elsewhere, Guy finds Rose barely clinging to life. Guy takes Rose to get medical attention, but he senses something is off about her, but is unable to figure out what. Unbeknownst to Guy, Bison has managed to put his soul into Rose's body. Two days later.